Hey guys, Big Red 310s here again to do a very quick all sides of the wrestling world. Well, not very quick, but hopefully it'll be under 40 minutes. Let me say this. Actually, it's going to be less than 30 minutes. Let me say this about the interview series, because I've been getting comments after comments after comments after comments after comments after comments about the interview series. Let me say this. If I know you and you know me, most likely you'll be on the show. It's as easy as that. Because I've been getting message after message and channel comment after channel comment and video comment after video comment. Tons of comments on every one I upload. There's like 5 comments of people like, yo, so you'll interview me, right? And one guy's like, oh, I know you won't interview me, but if you did, it would be really great. A, that's not the right attitude to have if you want me to interview you. And B, most likely I will interview you. Just wait your turn. There's a method to my madness. I am purposely organizing the interviews a certain way. So please, wait your turn. You will be called. I have a huge Word document of a lot of YouTubers and a lot of subscribers and a lot of Twitter followers that I plan on rent. Some of them I don't know. Some of them I'm just going to call out. Wait your turn. You will be called upon. Please do not constantly message me to ask me to put you on the show. Just wait. You will most likely in the future be on the show. I want this series to keep going for a long time. So don't worry about it. Just wait. I will get to you. All right. With that said, the interview with AMCN1 I thought went really, really well. It's down there. Go check it out. And the next guest on the show for this Thursday will be Daniel Talks Pro Wrestling. I think it's going to be a very interesting interview. I think it's going to be a good supplement to the AMCN1 interview. And a lot of people don't really know that much about Daniel. So I think this interview will give a lot of information. So that will come up on Thursday. Hopefully. I always say I'm going to get these uploaded Thursday night. And then I shoot it Thursday night. And I can't edit it till Sunday morning. And it doesn't go up till Tuesday night. Sorry. I will do my best to get it as quick as I can. Now, all sides of the wrestling world. I don't want to go too in-depth into this one because some of these shows I saw a while ago, and I don't want to just be up here bullshitting about a match that I don't, an undercard match that I don't really remember. So I'm going to talk a lot about the TV stuff I'm going to talk about, Ring of Honor and Ring King, and the shows I'll talk about, but some not as in-depth as others. Let's get first off to Ring King. This is the one I want to plug. This promotion is awesome. For those who do not know what Ring King is, it basically TNA has an India company, a promotion that they run in India. Funded by Colors, which is the TV channel that hosted the National Wrestling Alliance, I believe. You could check if you have Colors. I personally don't have it. I have to watch it on YouTube, but I know a good portion of people do have the show Colors. The show actually gets better ratings than SmackDown, I believe. Well, the first show did. I don't know if the second one did. The second one, I think, did a little worse. But it gets around the same ratings that SmackDown does. So you can find the channel and you can watch it. The promotion is amazing. I know you're thinking, oh, TNA must suck. Not really. The guys that run this are Jeff Jarrett, Dutch Mantel, and Dave Lagana. They're the 3, I believe, writers for the show. And the show production looks incredible because it's they have more funding, I guess, than Spike gives TNA. And they just put on a great show. Like, it looks really mainstream. They have great crowds. It makes the promotion look like a big deal. Someone said this on Twitter, and I agree with them. If you don't know anything about wrestling and you saw TNA and Ring King, you would think Ring King was the real promotion and TNA was the side project. That's how good Ring King looks. And the promotion to me is a lot of fun. The storylines are really well developed, and everything's really enjoyable. The characters are really enjoyable. Now, I know you're going to look in the description box and you're going to look at the star ratings and you're going to be like, oh my god, this must suck. No, not really. A lot of the matches are short, which is understandable. I mean, in the first few weeks, you have to introduce all the characters and all the storylines, so the matches kind of get cut short a little bit. So that's why you look at these like 1-star, star and a quarter star ratings. A lot of those matches were really short, so don't take that to really mean a hell of a whole lot. I will get to that. Basically, the main storyline, episodes 5 and 6 are already uploaded. They're all on YouTube. I'm going to put a link to the guy's YouTube channel. Episodes 5 and 6 are already up, but I didn't watch. I saw half of 5, and 6 wasn't uploaded yet when I first started recording, and I also think 1 through 4 are kind of their own concise storyline, and 5 through 6 would be like its own separate thing. So that's why I thought that this would be better to do 1 through 4 to focus on this main storyline. The main storyline in episodes 1 through 4 was the title tournament to crown the first ever Ring King champion. It was an 8-man tournament. The participants were Mahabali Veera, Dr. Nick Dinsmore, which is Eugene or Nick Dinsmore. Mahabali Veera is TNA trained a lot of talent, local talent in India. They trained them to wrestle. So a lot of these Indian guys, I believe this is their first time ever on a large-scale promotion, and they're trained by TNA. Mahabali Veera is one of them. Brutus Magnus, Matt Morgan, Chavo Guerrero, Sonjay Dutt, Scott Steiner, and Maxx B. Maxx B, I believe, is another Indian locally trained talent, I believe. And basically it was an 8-man tournament to crown the first ever Ring King champion. So let's go show by show, I guess. In the first episode was really, really impressive. They basically introduced the 8-man that are going to compete for the tournament. Dr. Nick Dinsmore is really, really entertaining. He's like an evil doctor character. And basically the main stable in Ring King is Matt Morgan, Sonjay Dutt. Brutus Magnus, Sonjay Dutt, Scott Steiner, and Jeff Jarrett. They're trying to take over Ring King. So for the first 4 episodes, you don't see Jeff Jarrett. You don't see him at all. And Brutus, Sonjay, and Scott are trying to take over Ring King. And that's why in this tournament, any one of the 3 are supposed to win the tournament, basically. And that's the main storyline. Ring King has its own Indian general manager, I guess their own Teddy Long. Or Vince McMahon, because he's the commissioner. But Vince McMahon isn't as much of an on-screen character as Teddy Long is, so he's kind of a combination of Teddy Long and Vince McMahon. His name's Jazzy Lahoria. He has his security guard. I forget what his name is. And also there's Harbhajan Singh. Harbhajan Singh is the biggest sports star in India for cricket, I believe. And he's the #1 star in the country. Like the equivalent nowadays, I don't think LeBron's the #1 star in the country. I think that's pushing it. I guess Tim Tebow, during the whole Tebow mania period, his popularity in America, it would be similar to that, except he's not really a young sports god-like figure. But he's the #1 star. You get the fucking point. Well, Michael Jordan was in the 90s, I guess is a better example. He is the #1 star in the country, from what I'm told. And Harbhajan Singh is the ambassador to Ring King, and he gets involved in the storylines later on, I've heard. The show kind of centers around him in some aspects, because he is the biggest star in the country, and so, like, he was around the world title picture a lot. You'll see him. Just watch the show. So we start off in the first show, Mahabali Veera versus Dr. Nick Dinsmore, and Matt Morgan versus Magnus. Both matches were fine. I know I gave Nick Dinsmore Mahabali Veera a star and a half, but like I said, it was really short. It was like 5 minutes. So I can't really give it. It's not good enough to get 2 stars, but it's not small enough to get an NA. So it kind of just gets. I mean, if a match goes 4 minutes and there's not a lot to it, I mean, it's a below average match. That's not necessarily a bad thing, in my opinion. Any match below 2 stars is below average, and just because a match is below average in this sense, I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think it's below average. It's not an average match because it wasn't given enough time to develop into an average match. Mahabali Veera, Dr. Nick Dinsmore wasn't okay. It was whatever. Mahabali Veera's green, very, very, very noticeably green. Not that that's a bad thing. He does what he does well, and he doesn't really do anything he doesn't do well. And they keep his matches really short. He's learning, but I think his stuff with Nick Dinsmore was fine. I think Nick Dinsmore helped him out a lot. So 1.5 stars. It was a whatever match. It was very short. Chris Masters is basically doing the exact same gimmick he did in the WWE, except it's called his name is American Adonis, and his move is called the Adonis Lock. But it's the same gimmick. Pick someone from the crowd to break the Adonis Lock, and then little by little, eventually, some wrestlers are going to come in and try to break it. I really like the gimmick in WWE. I thought the way it ended was a little premature. I thought they could have kept it going for a while. They ended it in Iraq with the soldier, but they kind of wrote that off. And then they ended it with Bobby Lashley in just like a normal Raw match. I thought something like that could have been bigger. He had a match against John Cena on Raw, and the gimmick was if John Cena couldn't break the Master Lock, Chris Masters would become the WWE champion. And right when John Cena was about to, I believe it was something like someone came in and beat up John Cena, so he couldn't do it. But I really thought the Chris Masters someone breaking the Master Lock should have been saved for a big deal, like in a title match or something like that. Just to do it on Raw, to me, it felt kind of random. But whatever. That was an unnecessary tangent. Matt Morgan is kind of billed as the #1 star in the promotion. So he's the #1 opposer towards Magnus, Sonjay, and Scott Steiner. And Matt Morgan beat Magnus with a bicycle kick in a fine match, average. One of the better matches in the history of this promotion. Episode 2, Scott Steiner, Maxx. This was very short. Scott Steiner's awesome in Ring of King, by the way. Awesome. He plays a great heel. The Sheiks, which is Sheik Abdul-Bashir and I believe another locally trained Indian talent versus the Mumbai Cats. This was a fine tag match. And then the Sheiks earlier in the show distracted Chavo. And then at the main event, Chavo and Sonjay, which was another first-round match. This was, by the way, the best match in the history of Ring of King so far. Both guys are pretty good, so you would expect that. But again, it was kind of short. And then in that match, the Sheiks came out and distracted Chavo so Sonjay could get the win. So that's why the Sheiks and Chavo had a match on episode 4. I'll get to that. Then the next show, Mahabali, Veera versus Scott Steiner. Okay, while I have been saying that if the match rating is below 2 stars, that's not necessarily a bad thing. This match was bad. Like, this match wasn't, it was just short. No, it was bad match. Again, Mahabali Veera is still learning, so I don't give him too much crap. And Scott Steiner, he couldn't really do what Nick Dinsmore did. It was very sluggish, not a lot to it. It ended prematurely. It wasn't very appealing to watch. The next match, Zema Ion, Jimmy Rave, and Roscoe Jackson, which is Trevor Murdoch, versus Isaiah Cash, who does a biker gimmick, Luke Gallows, and Hollywood and Broadway, which is Joey Ryan and Nunzio. This was a fun 6-man, but it was only 4 minutes long, I believe. So 2-star for what it was. The Adonis lock again was good. Matt Morgan, Sonjay was a whatever main event. I actually thought this one was a little weak. It was short. Again, it was only like 5 minutes, but even for a 5-minute match, I thought it was one of the weaker matches in the history of Ring of King as well. There wasn't a lot to it. And Morgan just kind of won out of nowhere. Mickie James, Alyssa Fast had one of the better women's matches I've seen in a long time. This got like 6 minutes, but still entertaining for a women's match. The Sheiks versus Chavo Guerrero and his mystery partner, which ended up being Bulldog, Hart, David Hart Smith. This was another fun match. Basically, they worked over Chavo. Chavo got a hot tag. And then Chavo and Bulldog did some double team moves until they did a double team top rope combination onto one of the Sheiks to win. Fun match for the most part. And then the Ring of King title tournament finals, Matt Morgan, Scott Steiner had a good story. They did a mock press conference earlier in the show, doing heights and weights for both guys. It was a fun match for the most part. This one I won't spoil the winner, but you can just go watch it for yourself. But it was a pretty entertaining match for the most part. I enjoyed what I saw. So that was episodes 1 through 4. The next episodes, I believe the next episodes set up the tag team title tournament. I do not have the teams in front of me, but I believe the teams are Hollywood and Broadway, Joey Ryan and Nunzio. Let me see if I can get this right. Zema Ion and Jimmy Rave, the Sheiks, Chavo Guerrero and Bulldog Hart, the Mumbai Cats, Sonjay, Dutt, and Brutus Magnus. That's 6. Oh, the Pantheon, which is this random Indian team. Oh, and the Bollywood Boys. The Bollywood Boys, they haven't wrestled yet, but the Bollywood Boys, I believe they're being treated like Matt Morgan. They're being treated like the #1 face tag team. I believe Mickie James is going to become their manager. I believe. I haven't seen episode 5 and 6 yet. I've seen a good portion of episode 5. I haven't seen 6 yet. So that's Ring of King. It's very, very fun. It's very fun. It's really entertaining. I can't stop watching it. Like, I finish an episode and I have to immediately start another one. That's how fun it is. Please check out Ring of King. I'll put the link to the guy's YouTube channel. It really is a lot of fun. It's a great, great promotion. And even though the wrestling may not be all there, but again, they can't give every match a lot of time because they have to introduce all the characters. The promotion is just a ton of fun. I'm going to be out here. I'm going to plug this promotion as much as I can. So expect to see a lot of Ring of King in my future videos. Now we get to the Ring of Honor television shows, episode 18 through 20, basically the first tapings of the year after Final Battle. I like it. I like that new direction. Kevin Steen obviously adds a lot because he's Kevin Steen. A lot of people don't like the Eddie Edwards, Kyle O'Reilly, Davey Richards love triangle as typical ROH. Follow him if you don't on Twitter mentioned. I like it so far. It hasn't gotten gay like some people are saying. To me, it's, partners disagreeing. I know people are like, oh, it's a love fest. Who's going to make out with Davey first? I don't view it like that. To me, it's just an entertaining storyline. And if it leads to singles matches between Eddie Edwards, Kyle O'Reilly, that's a good thing. So I think people are harping on it too much. It's trying to elevate O'Reilly and Cole in the process, which is another good thing. Big fan of both guys. Cole, top 5 favorite wrestlers right now. O'Reilly, top 10. So please, this is a good thing. I'm willing to listen. A lot of people are just writing it off. I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm ready to pay attention to the storyline. Plus, I think Davey and Kyle will make a great team. Davey, I don't think they'll be as good as Davey and Eddie, but I think they'll be close. And I think, again, it'll help Kyle a lot. So, Eddie Edwards, Mike Mondo, a fun opening match for the most part. Ricky Reyes, Roderick Strong, it was an okay match, really. Kenny King, Nick Jackson was a fun match. The Young Bucks ANX feud is really getting good on TV. Ciampa and TJ Perkins, I believe this is Ciampa's best match ever, or his match with Adam Cole from last year's Defy or Deny. Both matches are good. I enjoyed this match. TJ Perkins is a very good worker. Michael Elgin and Grizzly Redwood. This one went a little too long. I've heard a lot of people complain about this, but they showed a video package for Grizzly Redwood. They're clearly trying to present him as more than a jobber. I think he's actually a credible wrestler on the roster. He's not like some random OVW guy that they want to get destroyed by Ciampa or Elgin. So I wasn't that upset when the match went a little longer, and it was an okay match for what it was. Team Ambition, Davey and Kyle versus Caprice Coleman, Cedric Alexander. I really like Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. I don't know why a lot of people don't. I really like them, and I like this main event. That was a very fun match, so I'll give it that. It was exactly what you'd expect, but it was a fun match. Then Jay Lethal, Mike Bennett had their worst match. They had a match on TV, their first match, which I really liked, which I thought was Bennett's best match in Ring of Honor. Then they had another match that I thought was also good as well. This match was, it was a little below that. I don't know why. To me, it was just a little clunky. And also the pacing of it wasn't really there for me. Again, I really can't explain why I didn't like it as much. I mean, it was still okay. It was an okay match. It was average. But I really their other matches were so much better, and I don't know what happened here. They got just as much time. I think they got like 10 minutes for this one, 15 minutes for the previous one, 12 for the one after that. I mean, I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of it. And the Briscoes Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team was a short match. It was really more of an angle. It was really more to just continue this Wrestling Greatest Tag Team Briscoes feud. I will say this. For Miami, because a lot of people have been complaining about this, the main event for night one is Eddie Edwards, Roderick Strong, Davey Richards, which, no, I'm not looking forward to that, but I'm still going to go. I think the match will be great, personally, but it doesn't mean I'm any more excited for it. I mean, if it was... I said on Twitter that if the main event would have been Davey, Eddie, and Briscoe's Wrestling Greatest Tag Team, I would have sold my tickets, because I'm not going to go see the same fucking double main event that I didn't want to see for Final Battle. But it's a triple threat, which is slightly different. Not very different, but hey, I'm still a little interested. I think it's going to be a great match. But yeah, I mean, I know it's not that appealing to some, but whatever. And the Briscoes Wrestling Greatest Tag Team, I'm actually not that upset about it now that Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team are heels. I don't think they're great heels or anything, but at least the dynamic is completely different now. I'm up to pay attention to the build before I discredit that match, like some people have already done. So, yeah. So overall, the storylines have gotten better. The wrestling's still good. It's still a fun show. I'll talk a lot about this show. PWG Fear. This was an awesome show. Again, continuing PWG's awesome role. I did not think it was as good as Steen Wolf, and the main reason is I thought the counterpart to all these matches on Steen Wolf, I thought every single one of the Steen Wolf matches was better. Listen, I thought the main event for Steen Wolf was better than the main event of this show. I thought Future Shock versus the Young Bucks was better than American Wolves versus the Super Smash Brothers. I thought the Rockness Monsters versus Future Shock was better. I mean, I thought my bad. I'm losing my mind here. I thought Rockness Monsters fighting Taylor Boys was better than Rockness Monsters Future Shock. I thought Davey Richards Willie Mack was better than Chris Hero Willie Mack. I thought the opener on Steen Wolf was better than the 8-man on this show. I thought TJ Perkins Scorpio Sky was better than Roderick Strong versus Amazing Red. I thought the Dynasty versus TJ Perkins Rocky Romero. That's right. The Dynasty versus Los Luchas I thought was better than the Fighting Taylor Boys versus Kenny King and TJ Perkins. And the comment that will give me the most heat, I thought Ricochet Chuck Taylor was better than El Generico Dick Togo. So yeah, I thought literally every single match on Steen Wolf was better than its Fear counterpart. That's why I think Steen Wolf was much better. But this was still an awesome show. The opener was a typical PWG opener. A lot of fun. Red and Roderick was a little sloppy, but it was still an entertaining match, I thought. I know a lot of people giving this match a lot of flack. I thought it was still entertaining for the most part. They didn't go that long. The back and forth worked. The crowd was really into it. I was good for this. The 8-man I did not like as much. I know people have said, oh, it was really entertaining. I mean, it was, but to me, it went way too long. I'm sorry. This match was like 22 minutes. The last 6 minutes, I was just sitting here like this. I mean, it was really dull in my opinion. I know a lot of people said, oh, I was entertained throughout the whole match. I wasn't. The last 6 minutes to me dragged. It didn't need to go that long. 2 3/4. I mean, most of the match was good, so I'll give it a 2 3/4 as opposed to a 2 1/4. But the last 6 minutes was not good. I'm sorry. To me, it dragged way too long. Chris Hero, Willie Mack. I mean, it was good, but to me, I thought Davey Willie was much better. I know people really bought into the emotion of this match. I don't know. I wasn't for it. It was basically just one big power move after another. There was an awesome reversal where Willie Mack goes for the standing moonsault and Chris Hero catches his head on his forearm and lifts him up for a cravat. That was awesome. But really, I mean, it was just power move, finish. And it's a great structure and all, but to me, that's all it was. I wasn't really wowed by it. Sorry. Rockness Monsters Future Shock was fun. I was really looking forward to this. The last few minutes were really, really good. But it was your typical Rockness Monsters match. Gets really, really entertaining towards the end. Johnny Yuma plays a great face in peril, and Johnny Goodtime is very underrated, especially in his high-flying arsenal. American Wolf Super Smash Bros. I love Super Smash Bros. They are my favorite team in wrestling right now. I will go as far to say that now that Dasher Hatfield and Sugar Dunkerton are most likely broken up, the Super Smash Bros. Are my favorite team in wrestling right now. I love them. And this match with the American Wolves was great. Second best match in the show, in my opinion. The endings were just really, really good. And what I love about the Super Smash Bros. The most is that and Player Uno, I heard an interview he did with Figure 4 Wrestling. Player Uno said that for the Super Smash Bros., he and Player Dos try to come up with tag team moves in their mind out of video games, and they think they don't really work. And then when they try to work it out, it actually seems plausible. So they come up with all their moves are really innovative because of that. Because they think of double team moves that seem impossible but can actually work. That's why their offense is so much fun to watch. And because every single move they do is innovative, it makes for a fresh combination whenever they face any team. And that's why they're my favorite team in wrestling. And this combination with the Wolves just worked really well. Davey was very, very physical, even more so than he normally is. And the Super Smash Bros., I mean, they were the better part. No offense, no disrespect to the American Wolves, but the Super Smash Bros. Is what made this match great. Maybe it's because I'm biased towards Super Smash Bros., but I love them. So, yeah, great match. El Generico, Dick Togo. This was another great match. The last few minutes, I mean, it was basically in this match, Togo was grounding Generico a lot for the early part of the match. And then El Generico was unleashing a lot of his high-power offense to take Doko down. And then Togo, the wise veteran, was basically like, okay, I'm going to beat this kid at his, this kid is not going to fly me. So he started going to extreme power moves. I believe AMCN1 talked about this a while back when it comes to fighting spirit, where he said that fighting spirit should rise out of extraordinary circumstances, then what normally happens isn't working. And I think that works in this match. Togo was doing a normal offense, trying to ground Generico. Generico was getting the upper hand on him, so then he went crazy with the fighting spirit, and then he started to unleash a lot of his high-power moves to finally take out Generico. And then Generico just beat him to the punch, and the finish was awesome. Great dynamic, great match, really loved it, 4 stars. Art is what this was, art. The only reason why it's not higher and why it's not better than the Wolf Super Smash Bros. Is that it went a little too short. I wanted it to go a little longer. That's just my own personal opinion, but great stuff. Appetite for Destruction, Kevin Steen, Super Dragon vs. the Young Bucks. This storyline has been building all year. This is the payoff, this is the build, and this is what a payoff should be. Kind of like Kevin Steen vs. El Generico from last year, Final Battle. A payoff of this nature is allowed to be brutal, and this was brutal. This was so entertaining, like I can't describe. It was so much fun. The whole match is really entertaining from start to finish. A lot of double team maneuvers through tables, through chairs, and I think it's okay in this scenario because it's the big payoff. You want to see these teams go at it, and because I followed this storyline this whole year, I was really into all the near falls, and I was really into all the action. It was really, really entertaining. Just a super fun match. 4.5 stars. Awesome, entertaining pro wrestling match. I had this at number 6 in my matches of the year. I'm not sure. It doesn't make the top 5. Actually, I think 6 is too high. It's 9. But it's a great, awesome match. Awesome show. 9 out of 10, without question. Definitely recommended for purchase. Now we get to Evolve 8 and Evolve 9. Don't want to talk a lot about Evolve 8. I thought the show sucked. I'll even go as far to say that. It was just very, I don't know. I think the tournament structure was off. I thought the tournament could have been handled a lot better than what it actually was. A good example is Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish and Aries have this 20-minute match, 25-minute match The match is good. It's not even the best first round match in my opinion. Sami Callihan and Brody Lee I thought was better. I thought Sami Callihan and Brody Lee was hard hitting, super entertaining. Sami Callihan, of course, delivers a great performance. Bobby Fish and Aries go 20 minutes, and the match is not as good because they just repeated a lot of the stuff throughout the match, and it just seemed like a bunch of spots at one point. Then Bobby Fish fights Sami Callihan, and because Bobby Fish is fucking exhausted from going 23 minutes, he and Sami have like a 5-minute semifinal match, and it's no good. I mean, come on. You could have handled that better. You could have given Fish Aries 15 minutes. The rating would have been the same. And then you could have given Fish Callihan 12 minutes, and that match would have been a hell of a lot better. This is just unnecessary wasting. Why did Aries and Fish need 25 minutes? They didn't. To me, it really hurt the whole show because everything else was timed off because of that. The 8-way fray I thought was dull. Very dull. Callihan, AR Fox, I thought was a very dull finale. AR Fox had a decent showing. Not as good. I thought Callihan should have won based on his performance off Brody Lee alone. His match with Brody Lee was the match of the night in my opinion. And I believe it's that match is the only, that match and the Bobby Fish match are the only two good matches on the show. The Bobby Fish match was good. It's not like I thought it sucked. It just went way too long. 5.75 out of 10. Not recommended for purchase. Don't buy it for anything really. Evolve 9. Great show. This is a great show. Basically highlights. I mean, there's a lot of short matches. But what's good is fun. Like Bobby Fish, John Davis, Kevin Steen is fun. The Scene versus Up in Smoke, fun. Super Smash Brothers, because they're awesome. Facade and Gory, fun. Tony Nese, John Silver, fun. Basically, Finlay and Callihan. A lot of people have already talked about this. I don't want to talk too much about it. That match was awesome. Basically, Finlay is basically dominating Callihan, proving he's the veteran worker, working over the youngster, and Callihan comes back with offense of his own to try to outclass Finlay, but in the end, Finlay just gets the better of him. It's very one-sided, but not enough to be called a squash. It's still an awesome match. Really entertaining. Finlay is just a tremendous worker, even at his age. Gargano and Taylor. I talked about this in my AMC N1 interview. This match I thought was great, and I think I'm the only one that thinks that. Because I know that Gargano and Taylor know each other so well. Because they are able to do their offenses on each other, and because they know each other so well, they're able to counter their moves so frequently, and they're able to do each other's moves with great impact. And that's why I thought the match was really great, because I knew they were friends, and the storyline is they're friends. I mean, they did everything to each other, and what the other one did, they copied. Anything you can do, I can do better, and I can do what you do better than you. It just worked. It made a great dynamic, and the match was really entertaining because of it. So a lot of people might not like this type of match. It's your typical indie main event, I would say. 18 minutes, spots, trading finishers. But because of the two guys specifically that did each finishers, to me it made for a better dynamic, and it made for a great match. I think I'm the only one that thinks that, but yeah, 8 out of 10. This deserves a DVD purchase. This deserves an iPay-per-view purchase. Support Evolve 9. That was a great show. Evolve 9 and Evolve 7 I thought were great shows. Evolve 8 sucked. And since Evolve only had 3 shows this year, I mean, that's your average. Open the Ultimate Gate. Man, I saw this show a long time ago. Gargano Rave, I remember it was a good opener. Sema Naruki Doi versus Yoshino and Pac had a very fun 15 minutes and a very underwhelming last 6 minutes. Typical, it just went too long. Now for me, if the last 6 minutes drag, I can't just discredit the first 15 minutes just because of how the last 6 minutes were. I know a lot of people are like that. Well, they'll give a match a bad rating just because of the last few minutes, because it drags. I can't do that. To me personally, I was so entertained for the first 15 minutes, I'm still going to give the first 15 minutes a reward. Not as high as a reward, but still a reward. Just because the last 6 minutes drag doesn't take away from what was good from the match. Aries Jacobs, I remember was good but disappointing. Yamato and Tozawa, I remember was great, but sorry, I saw that show a long time ago. Uprising, not a lot of people talked about this show. I'm going to go over 30 minutes because there's no way I'm going to not glimpse over the 16-karat gold tournament. Uprising was a good show. It was fun. All Up in the Ultimate Gate was a really good show, but like I just don't remember a lot of those matches. Uprising, I remember was fun. Not really a lot of great wrestling, but it was fun. Like, Tozawa and Fox was the match of the night. It was a lot of fun. The main event was a lot of fun. Yamato, Shima, Yoshino, Gargano was fun. Brody Lee and Nese was a lot of fun. The opener was a lot of fun. And Aries, Yokosuka, Ken, and Mochizuki were both really short. So it was a fun show, just not a lot of great wrestling to it. Very entertaining, not a lot of substance, I guess is the best I could say. 7.25. Now let's get to the 16-karat gold tournament. I don't want to talk too much about this because I want people to see the whole tournament. But there are some good matches. But I will point out, like in night 1, Cabana and Zack Sabre Jr. was a good first-round match. Cole Haskins, Shiozaki Moss, Richards Ryan, Callahan, and we're all kind of on the same level. Sakamoto Bad Bones was really good. But Qatar Suzuki El Generico was really, really good. Very fun, very entertaining. So very good. That was the best first-round match. Night 1 was a fun show. Wasn't necessary. In my opinion, for a 3-night tournament, you have to buy all 3 nights, because if you buy nights 1 and 2, it makes you better appreciate the semifinals and finals of night 3. That's why for 3-night tournaments, I don't like it when people just buy one show. In my opinion, you should buy all 3. So don't look at the rating and let it mislead you. It's a fun show. I would still recommend it. On night 2, Cabana and Marty Scurll had one of the best comedy matches I've seen in a while. Sami Callihan, Sasaki had a really fun, hard-hitting match. Go Shiozaki and Kotaro Suzuki had a very fun match. Sakamoto and Moss was good, but very disappointing. Davey Richards and Zack Sabre Jr., the match of the weekend. This match was awesome, mainly due to Zack Sabre Jr., I'm not going to lie. Basically, it's your typical spot fest type match, but Zack Sabre Jr., the way he sold Davey's impact made this match great. Like when Davey would hit a high move and Zack Sabre Jr. would really react like it hurt, and his offense would be limited because of it. He wouldn't do his normal flips because he can't, because he's hurt. And he would just, his performance throughout the whole match was just tremendous. Great job by Zack Sabre Jr. And Davey had an above-average performance as well. 4.25 stars. Awesome match. Great match. Great match. Great intensity. The intensity was really high in that match. And like I said, the selling was just tremendous, and the facials were great, which made the intensity seem more intense. Maybe this match wasn't as intense as a normal Davey Richards match, but because of the way Zack Sabre Jr. was selling it, I thought it was super intense. Night 3 is a great show. Let me say that. Night 3 is the second best show that I'm reviewing here. What to mention in Night 3? Big Van Walter and Go Shiozaki had a very fun match. Sakamoto and El Generico had a good match, but a little underwhelming. The last few minutes are really, really great, but it's just a little disappointing. Leaders in New School versus Conan O'Reilly is a great match. Too long. Way too long. I think this match is like 30 minutes, which is completely unnecessary. But I will say this, and again, I've said this before, just because I've enjoyed 23 minutes of the match and I didn't enjoy 7, just because of those 7, that doesn't mean I should discredit the first 23. I don't believe in that mentality. I believe you should reward a match and deduct very little for the stuff that you don't like. That's just my opinion. But I will say that, but in those last 7 minutes, even though I thought it dragged, the guys were fucking exhausted because they had worked a 30-minute match. So by the end, when they're very slowly trading punches and very slowly trading moves, in my opinion, that was a good dynamic, because you could tell from the match that they were so tired from working a 30-minute match that it made it seem very believable. And you were really into it because of it. You were just waiting until one guy finally won, because both teams were dead. And that, to me, added to the match a lot. So that's why I gave the match 4 stars, particularly for those last few minutes. Even though the last few minutes they drag, and the match shouldn't have gone that long, I thought that little added side effect, because it went so long and because they were so exhausted by the end and were just battling, it made the match great. And the trade of finishes was really intriguing. It was just a great match, in my opinion. I don't like it as much as most people do, but like I said, that little ending did it for me. And Sami Callihan, Big Van Walter, the match of the night. Great match. It's your typical Sami Callihan big man match. Well, it's what you'd expect. These matches are great. This is why Sami Callihan and Brody Lee from Evolve 8 was so good. Except this was better. Basically, Big Van Walter just dominates and beats up, and Sami makes his comebacks with high power moves, which really get the match over because of Big Van Walter's size, and it takes him a while to do it. He doesn't just do it in one swing. And his facials, Sami Callihan's facials in every match are awesome. He's great. He really is great. And he and Big Van Walter had this really fun, entertaining matchup, and the finish was really great, and the fans were really behind Sami. So it's your typical big man comeback match, but it's a great big man comeback match. Awesome. I love that match. 4 stars. So I give the show an 8.5. 2 great matches, 2 3 3/4 star matches, and some good matches throughout. It's a fun show. Please don't just get night 3. I still recommend getting all 3 nights. If you want the full experience, you need to get all 3 nights. You don't appreciate Sami Callihan versus Big Van Walter as much unless you've seen the whole tournament. You can't just watch it and go, oh, it wasn't as great. You need to see the whole tournament. That's why I don't like when people see just a last night of a tournament, see the finals, and are not as happy with it. Well, dumbass, if you had watched the whole tournament, you would have appreciated the finals more. So that's my little thing. So Great match. Great tournament. I can't wait to watch it this year. Timeline History 97, Jim Cornette. I saw this shit months ago. I saw this shit in August, I think. It's a great documentary, but Jesus, I can't remember anything. He gets a lot of talking to Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, a lot of talk on Vince McMahon and his irregular habits, and a lot of talking to the Bill, to the Montreal Screwjob, what his plan would have been. It's very entertaining. It's a Jim Cornette Yushi. You can't go wrong with it. Very entertaining. So that's that. That's this All Sides of Wrestling World. The next one is going to involve Chikara, the 13th Hat, which I'm going to watch almost immediately. Gateway to Honor, Survival of the Fittest, Glory by Honor, and the 2 Carolina shows, plus Ring of Honor and Ring of King again, plus, I believe, Kruzeg from WXW and Genesis in Germany from WXW. After I watch all those shows, then I'm going to do a full Puro 2011 rundown, the second half. I remember in the summer last year, I did this video explaining basically from January to July all the Puro best matches. Now I'm going to watch from July to December. I have a Word document of like 45 matches that I have to get to. So that, and then as soon as I'm done with that, top 100 matches of 2011. I know it's taken a long time this year. I'm sorry. I'm really, really delayed. My first semester senior year was really rough, as you've seen me comment a lot. But I'm going to try to get back into the groove of things. So we'll start from there. So with that, I'm out. I'm BigRat310. Please check out my interview with AMC at 1. Please check out Rank of King. I'm out. Goodbye.